Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Get paid to go full.
Happy Thursday, 9:01 on this 27th day of June. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show, and we're getting right into it. And we'll start off with top of the hour news. The big story, we'll start off with just a little bit of a replay of that video, the mine collapse at Gordonmore Park. RiverBender.com was able to break the story right around 10:45 and get that write-up for you guys. But this is just a little bit of what we saw at Gordonmore Park yesterday, where you can see the sinkholes start to emerge here early in the morning, and right about now is when it starts to cave in, and who knows really until we get final details how deep that is. But there you go, that just enormous sinkhole erupting and making national news all across the country on the Today Show and throughout. Here's the full story. Dan Brannon has this. When a mine collapse early Wednesday morning has caused significant damage to Gordonmore Park, Alton Park and Recreation Director Michael Haynes confirmed the collapse. Thankfully, no injuries were reported in this situation. New Frontier, the group responsible for the mine, has representatives on the scene, along with multiple City of Alton personnel. Haynes said the collapse was absolutely devastating. His quote to RiverBender.com, "I'm glad there were no injuries associated with it. When it collapsed, it probably dropped 40 feet deep. The field is naturally fenced in, so we already have a natural barrier around the site. We have blocked off all the parking at the field and want to make people aware it is a dangerous area. I'm extremely thankful nothing was going on at the surface when this occurred." Also, regarding this collapse, a massive collapse that did emerge, the representative from New Frontier, Matt Barquette, a media relations representative, has issued statements about the situation. The New Frontier's materials underground mine in Alton experienced a surface subsidence and opened a sinkhole at Gordonmore City Park. The impacted area has been secured and will remain off limits for the foreseeable future while inspectors and experts examine the mine and conduct repairs. The incident, which occurred in a popular recreational area, has prompted immediate action to ensure public safety. The affected section of the park will remain closed again while experts assess the damage and take necessary steps regarding the collapse. Mayor David Goins also provided his statement to RiverBender.com last night and gave us an update on the soccer fields. Here's what he had to say. Mayor Goins announced that he plans to meet with the head of New Frontier's material at the park sometime today. The head of the mining company is flying from Alabama, and we're having a meeting tomorrow at the park, Goins said at the meeting. At this time, the park is closed because it's still not settled. There's still some movement, so we thought it'd be in the best interest to close off all activities. He added that an independent geologist will survey the site, who will provide more insights into the extent of the damages and estimate the normal activities, those normal activities can resume at the park. Relieved by reports of no injuries, the mayor said an unfortunate situation could have been worse. Here's his thoughts. It's unfortunate, but the blessing is that no one was injured. There was no one on the ground at the time of the collapse, he added. We're very, very fortunate because, as bad as this is, it could have been worse because there could have been injury or loss of life. It's a situation that's ongoing, so we'll continue to keep you updated as more information becomes available. A full recording where the mayor spoke at City Council is available at RiverBender.com/video, or you can check it out on the Riverbender Facebook page. At 9:05, we got to jump right to weather. We got a busy show today. It's 77 degrees. And it's going to be a pretty nice one out there today. It already feels like 84 with the humidity. Mostly sunny today, pleasant and less humid. And tonight, just partly cloudy. The air quality index is looking pretty good today. Air quality is ranked at 36. That's good. Grass is low. Mold is low. Ragweed low. Tree levels low. Going to be a good day. Now, temperatures will reach 87 degrees today, but don't let that scare you. They'll drop down to 69 overnight as we head into Friday. On Friday, a high of 85, a low of 72 degrees, and on Saturday, an 80% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 90, and a low of 67. However, we do have some relief in sight. On Sunday, a high of 82 degrees, a low of 59, and on Monday, the 1st of July, a high of 80, and a low of 64 degrees. For time and temperature throughout the day, you can always give this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545, this time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab Recover, and Return Home. But while I have you, let me fill you in on Alton Little Theater, where you can get season tickets, 5 shows for just $90. Think about that. Making God Laugh, A Christmas Carol, The X's, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Women of a Certain Age. This is a chance to celebrate the 91st season of Alton Little Theater being a landmark. And, you know, it's really great to know that in our community, we have the oldest, most continuous little theater in the state of Illinois, one of the oldest, most continuous in the country, and they bring performers all across the region to come and entertain us, and especially you get the debates going on tonight. It's going to make you crazy. You need a couple hours of escape, especially during this election cycle. So spend $90, get 5 shows. You spend $90 in St. Louis, you get a half a show and maybe a parking spot. Not at Alton Little Theater. Visit altonlittletheater.org for more information today, and don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way. Take a look at downtown Alton. We'll come back with more Daily Show right after this.
I knew a God had turned us on. When you're coming home, I can't go on. Turn us on. I knew a God had turned us on.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team. We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our Daily Show. Here's CJ. Welcome back, 9:10. A couple minutes late, but that's okay because we're still perfectly imperfect. All right. Tara and Nina join us now. How are we doing this morning?
Good.
Doing well.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Always exciting when you talk about a book coming out, and this is a pretty quick turnaround. Last time, what was it, a year ago? Not even?
October of last year.
Oh, man. So, a very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And how has this been so far? I think it's just the blanket statement to ask you.
I mean, so far it's been good. I think that we had enough interest off that first book that we were both like, we're going to wait a little while to launch
Yeah.
a second one. And then all of a sudden, like 2 months later, I'm like, okay, when are we doing the second one?
Yeah, it was, the first one was so impactful that, and in the journey of getting authors for the first one, we had way more no's than we had yeses.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
And so once it launched and people were actually able to see what it was and how impactful it was, then they were like, wait a minute, I think I'm now ready to share my story. And so that's kind of how this came about so quickly.
Yeah, it was a lot of, are you guys doing a second book?
Now, did the seminar help that, you think, the empowerment series?
I would think it did. Yeah, for sure.
Because
For sure.
it seemed like you guys really had such a strong showing right after that book came out, and then the seminar was highly attended, it seemed like,
Yeah,
too.
we had 100 attendees, I believe is
Yeah.
what the head count was. So, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So when you put out the feelers of, hey, we're doing this book, how quickly was the train moving for, we're already starting writing?
There was a lot of fluctuation in this one. There was a lot of people jumping on and then turning around and being like, wait, I don't think I'm ready, which is fine. We honor that, right?
Yeah.
We hold that space for them. We don't force anybody to do a chapter in our book. If they're not ready, they're not ready. Plus, the story won't come across the way it's meant to come across if
Right.
that's the case. But there was some fluctuation in this one. I'm going to say this one was a little more, I was a little more on edge during the process of this one than I was the first one. Because there was just different things that were happening. Like I was like, oh, we're totally good. We've done this before.
Right.
Surprise!
Yeah, no, it was a little wonky in the beginning just because we had a few that jumped right in, which was great, so we got started, and then there was a little lull,
Yeah.
And then there were a few circumstances in the beginning that kind of we were like, well, I mean, and you know, obviously it's very natural to question, you know, that's just human thing is to question, should we have done this so quickly, or
Right.
should we have jumped in?
Yeah.
And absolutely we should have. So it was perfect timing, and
Yeah.
and who's in it is who was meant to be in it.
100%. I totally believe that. And I'll be honest with you, this particular process, I went through 2 job changes
Oh,
while we were doing this
Wow.
second book. So throw that into the mix, and it's been a good experience.
well, and on top of that, too, you know, it's kind of telling when you have that, you know, well, I'm in, maybe I'm not, and you pull back out. And because, you know, it shows really how the prowess and really that pedestal that your authors really are on, because it takes a lot to really go in and open up to the world with a book. And it kind of shows the importance of the reason you're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, even for myself, I mean, in this one compared to the last one, I actually was able to kind of become a little more authentic, transparent, and open up in a way that I didn't in the first one. And so it was funny because in the first one, I was just like, oh, share your stories, ladies, it's okay, because I was pretty vanilla. This one, I was like, oh, now I'm starting to understand the overwhelm and the feelings and the emotion and everything
Yeah.
that goes into this, because it is scary to open that door and let people into a secret world that you've kept pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And now it comes out today, correct?
It does. We launched this morning at 7, and so for the first 24 to 48 hours, you can go on to Amazon and get the digital download for $1.99.
Really cool. And now, does this book feature some local voices too?
Oh, 100%.
Really cool.
Yeah.
And now, when you guys were meeting, when having these conversations with authors to put all this together, what did some of those conversations look like or sound like?
I mean, really, it was about, you know, hey, we're doing this project. We're looking for women who are ready and willing to share a pivotal moment in their life where they've went through something and they've recognized, crap, I'm going through something that maybe I don't like, and there's a change that needs to happen. So what we wanted, you know, we would have that conversation with people. Some people would be like, heck yeah, I'm ready. I got a great one. Some people are like, I got so many, I don't know which one to choose.
Right.
And then some people were like, heck no, I'm not ready for that yet. And we're okay with whatever that ends up being.
Yeah.
But the premise behind this book is very much something that you've gone through. What was the pivotal moment when you realized a change had to happen, and what did you do to make the change?
Yeah.
So the chapters are built around kind of that structure.
That's really cool. Was that difficult putting the stories in and kind of getting those in that order that you needed them to be?
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a wonderful writing coach. Her name is Carol, and she is...
Shout out to Carol.
Yes. And she's actually an author in the book this time
Oh,
around.
really
We
cool.
offered her a chapter,
Really
and she
cool.
hopped in.
Yeah.
So because she was also the writing coach from the last book, and she was like, "I totally want to be part of this project," and we were like, "We want you to be part of this project."
When she told us that, she's a writing coach and she has worked on just many anthologies, and when she said how moved she was with working on ours and how much it had impacted her personally, and then when her and I were on a Zoom, and she's like, I've tossed it around contributing to yours, and I was like, well, what's holding your, for what purpose are you not? And so she joined us, and that meant a lot. I think for me, this journey has been beautiful because for a lot of the women that joined us, it was simply because I got up, shared my story, opened up, and they realized for the first time, like, wow, that wasn't so scary. She just did this in a room of strangers. And so it was really organic how people would kind of come up and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about that. Or, could you explain to me what that would look like?
Does that surprise you? And that's kind of an open end for both of you. Does that surprise you that you get that feedback? Because, in a world where we always think that everyone knows everything about us and we're always getting watched by a video camera or someone's filming you somewhere, to really hear that, hey, this is okay to do, this is okay to talk about, that's kind of surprising to me that, we all think that we're still so sheltered too. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a protection mechanism that we all have, right? Of if people know my most inner darker secrets, what are they going to think of me, kind of thing.
Right.
Where in reality, when you're ready to actually approach it and talk about it, that's when the healing starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this above all else, this has been such a healing journey for all the authors. So now that this is our second one, and we're 75 or so authors have been involved in this, it's been really incredible to talk to them about this whole journey, because it really was maybe a pivotal point where they did begin to have that healing.
Yeah.
That's what I was curious about too, the follow-up after the stories are written. And now, is there any, for you, when you both had the first book come out, when you released it, was there any kind of anxiety of, oh man, who's going to read this, or what comments am I going to get?
Not for me, because I was much like Tara. I was very vanilla. I talked about my military experience. This book, I've gotten much deeper, and I've gotten much more vulnerable and personal with my story. So, and I don't even feel that way this time.
Okay.
This time it's about people understanding that we all go through things, right? We all have moments in our life where we're like, crap, like, how did I get here? And how do and I know I deserve better. How do I move on and get into that better space?
You're
kind of
absolutely
thing. So
right.
I don't have any anxiety around it whatsoever.
Really cool.
I mean,
That's interesting.
Mine is obviously there's a little bit, just because there's parts of my story that I haven't shared my entire life, and so that there was a little bit there. I will say though that the feeling that knowing what it will do for someone else greatly outweighs that.
Yeah.
So it easily tipped me over the point to where I could easily share it.
Yeah.
When you know that you have the ability, that's why I love this project, is because we're able to offer a platform to these ladies who are able to find their voice, share their stories, and literally inspire women around the world to just say, hey, listen, I'm not alone.
Right.
I'm not the only one who's going through this. These women obviously have a way out. And so therefore they at least get that glimpse of hope to realize, like, okay, I'm not stuck here.
Yeah. There's a phrase that I like to use a lot. It's called, when you're in the jar, you can't see the label.
Yep.
And I feel like this project is a good way for us to be able to help pull people out of their jars, look at their label, decide, do you want to be there, you don't want to be there, put them back in their jar so they can do the work to get out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's what I think so really fascinating about this, is the fact that it's a community within the project, because, there's still support going along throughout the journey with, I'm sure you're having conversations all the time with folks that contributed to this. And it's really, like you said, the start of their healing process for so many, but also it could be a great way for someone who maybe has already felt like they're past that, they're okay with sharing, they've already, kind of started healing, to do a little bit of a check and balance and say, hey, how am I feeling now that this is going? Now that I'm really talking about it again and airing it out, what are those thoughts? And now, in going forward, is this book going to be primarily, if you do another one, would the authors, have you ever thought about doing a guy version of this?
We've talked about it.
We have talked about it, and what's really funny, and I'm going to plug another book really quick here. It's called Notes from Dad. A friend of mine, firefighter in Central County Fire and Rescue over on the Missouri side of the river, he actually saw our first book launch, and he had kind of this idea in mind. And so he actually did a book
Really
where
cool.
fathers come in and give tidbits of information that they want their children to remember when they're gone.
Well, and that's what I think's really, that's even more fantastic to hear, is that it spawned another, basically I call it a spinoff almost, because you see it and you know that you want to do it. But again, seeing 2 other people do this locally, it really drives home the fact that we can do stuff.
And that is truly the power of it having a platform to inspire other people.
Yeah.
So whether you're inspiring them, finding our voice and sharing our stories. So now he's able to share his story and find, men to share their stories. So obviously my heart is staying with women.
Oh, 100%,
just because,
yeah.
we have tossed it around. It's just one of those things where it is so empowering to build this community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I'm sure that it's just, for me personally, feeling like that support system may not have been there at times, and now realizing it was always there.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to find it,
Yeah.
or to how important it was to surround myself with people who really bring the light out.
Yeah, we've been asked multiple times, why don't you allow men in your book? And we're like, we're not opposed to it. We're just not there yet.
Yeah, no, and it makes sense because it's needed. What you guys created is very much needed for so many women, even of all ages. It doesn't really have an age demographic on this, and that's what I think it's so telling, because you got a bunch of people to open up and share the deepest moments of their lives, the ones that you lock away with the key, to the public, in hopes that someone reads that and gets a little bit more motivated or feels empowered enough to maybe start tackling their own issues. And now, have you had those conversations with folks that have read this book and said, really thank you, because it's actually helped me quite a bit?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I was curious about.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook posts, phone calls, somebody that would walk up to me during a networking event, hey, I got your book and I read, so-and-so's story really inspired me, things like that. And to me, that's just so gratifying. And just, I feel so grateful that Tara and I came up with the idea and started the platform and all the things, and that it's actually impacting the people in the way that we dreamt that it would do. So
yeah, and I mean, there's nothing to say. I have had plenty of men come up to me and they have read it and bought it, and bought it. It's funny because I had one person say they bought it for their wife, and then he ended up reading it and he was like, "Wow, like these stories." You don't have to be a woman to relate to the struggles that are in this book. So yeah, I mean,
that's a good point. That's a really good point. It's been
incredible. I mean, I think probably one of the most touching messages that I ever got was from someone who, in reality, I wasn't very close to. It was a Facebook. I hate to say just a Facebook friend, because my Facebook friends are freaking amazing. But it was someone that I really don't have a lot of contact with. And out of the blue, they messaged me and just basically said that they were very depressed, and they weren't sure, what was going to happen after that day and all the things. And they looked down and the book was on their nightstand, and they picked it up and they read it, and they just basically were like, there's no way to really explain, because I just randomly opened it to a chapter.
Yeah.
And she's like, it was exactly what I needed to read at the time.
That's good stuff.
It is. And so there's so many different stories in there that you will relate to something.
Because we've already talked for 15 minutes already. We got Alton Little Theater. I know it flies by, doesn't it? What is the most, for you, a little bit of a teaser of a story that is in the book that you'd like to share with the audience that kind of hit you a little bit harder than most?
Well, I will tell you my own personal story. I talk about my identity being stolen, and I will tell you that it's not my social security number being stolen. So if you want to know the story and read about it, you'll have to get the book and read it. I do want to say, though, I didn't bash the individual that was in my life. He had his own demons, and he was fighting his own battle as well. It was just a very pivotal moment in my life that has brought me to where I'm at right now. And if I could change it, I wouldn't, because I love where I'm at right now.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my personal story is really just making that pivotal switch from fear to faith.
Yeah.
And instead of just living my life always in fear, just really tossing it to faith and realizing that instead of, why is this happening? It's like, what is this teaching me? And just realizing that there is just so much more waiting there. And faith plays just a huge role in that. So
really cool. Still Perfectly Imperfect is available on Amazon right now, correct?
Yes.
And is that just the main platform it's on to direct people to?
Yes.
Really cool.
Yeah, so $1.99 for the next 24 to 48 hours.
They can go find us on Facebook too. The links are out there as well.
Really cool. We'll connect you on a write-up on RiverBender.com. Really cool that you girls are already just kicking butt and taking names. I'm telling you. 9:25, a quick break. Lee Cox Theater Thursday starts right after this.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank. The local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBenderRadio.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
I know, I'm sorry, all you theater goers. 8 minutes late.
We never hold the curtain for anybody.
Have you ever done that? Do you hold the curtain ever?
We do not, but we have had a couple of guest artists who I'm like, okay, it's time. Oh, okay, it's time. And they're still doing their makeup or their hair. And I'm like, do you want me to go out and entertain the audience?
No, is that like theater etiquette for curtain time? I don't know.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I mean, there's nobody good enough that you need to keep 200 people waiting for you. That's just rude.
Or 100,000 Madonna. That's right. That's
Madonna.
right. I'm tired of her. You know, Oliver's coming up in August.
Yes, I'm so excited. I don't think we'd cast it the last time we were
No.
here. And now we have with 31 incredible performers. And as I told you off air, only 4 people in the cast have appeared on our stage before. They have done other things.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are all new performers, and we have 19 incredible kids. I love all of them. But Knox Shell, who plays Oliver, and Finn Kane, who plays the Artful Dodger, they are beyond adorable and so talented. They're so little, but they dance, they sing, they know their lines before the adults. They just have fun. They're just sweet, wonderful kids.
That just sounds, well, to me, too. Are the adult performers, are some of them new as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Like Randy Manning has come back.
Yeah.
He's playing Fagin.
Right.
And Carrie Preston, who teaches at St. Ambrose, she's doing Nancy. And Ben Etling actually appeared as Cousin It in the Addams Family when he was 7. He's now 17, almost 18. I hardly recognize him. Once he told me who he was, I could see it in his face.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everybody else just either loves the show, has always wanted to do the show, do the character, just a lot of 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and then older people, and then what we call the youngins.
Well, and are the youth acting classes going on currently?
No, they start July 8th and run through the 19th. So yes, from about noon every day till about 10 every day, I will be in Kidland, but that's okay. I
Now,
love kids.
are some of the performers in the acting class part of the Oliver?
Two of them
Really
are,
cool.
and one of them, another one, wanted to sign up, but when they live like in Jerseyville, which we have a couple of Jerseyville people, they're like, okay, how do I come here, go home, come
back?
here?
Yeah.
So I said, well, think about next year, because they're very young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and now going forward too, with rehearsals, are the kids really getting it?
Oh, they are.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we had musical rehearsal, and again, you cannot expect 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds even to read music. So I was kind of surprised that week. I thought it's going to be rough. But Mary Mahoney, who's our musical director, she's so great. She's a speech pathologist, too. She's so great with kids. And so she just really worked with them. And they have good ears. And they just sing, and they sing out, and they have energy. And then the dancing, the adults, of course, who did a little better with reading music, they're like, oh my God, those kids are putting us to shame. They're like, they can do every step. They don't necessarily know what it's called. I realized that Arsenio couldn't just say, okay, I want you to do this grapevine over here. I said, no, you have to show them. Well, but they do. And they love Carrie. I mean, she's an educator. Mm-hmm. She has a few kids from St. Ambrose in the show. And even though it's a lot of boys, we have 7 girls. And all the girls kind of look alike. Kevin cannot tell them. Oh, no. You know, and so I'm like, well, Serena has dark glasses with hearts on them today. You know, I go through and I say... Sophie and Mimi are the sisters that look exactly alike.
I love it. I love it. And now, was that kind of the thought when casting, or did that just happen?
Oh, no. We had 54 people audition for the show. And you know we're committed to casting as many new talents. And Kevin scores. He's a rigorous scorer, and he does it by scoring. And when I say... appearance, I don't mean, weight or anything like that. Just
right.
Stature, presentation. Mm-hmm. And again, Bill Sykes has to be somebody who can look kind of mean. That's just the reality. And right. Nancy has to be a little sensual, and Fagin has to be a little wizard in one sense. I mean, doing the research for the show, I've had so much fun finding out how many careers Oliver launched. Davy Jones. Who would have ever thought? Davy Jones was the Artful Dodger, won the award in London.
I'll be darned.
Phil Collins.
Really?
Was Oliver. Can you believe that?
I had no idea.
Yes. Patti LuPone played Nancy on Broadway. I mean, wow. They just did a showcase revival last year. And so now I'm really surprised we actually got the royalty rights. If it had been extended, if it wasn't a showcase, well, we would have had trouble. But people will say, okay, so this movie or this play was the 60s. They don't remember, but I'm like, it has stood the test of time. It has 7 Broadway revivals. It won 10 Tonys. It won 5 Academy Awards. And what I didn't know was songs from the show premiered the same night as the Beatles premiered on Ed Sullivan. And that's why they called it the English Invasion, because everybody on the show that night was from the London production or the Beatles. Isn't that funny?
That's awesome.
And the Beatles were apparently in awe of all these performers.
Now, whenever you're whenever you and Kevin are instructing the little ones, or even the performers in general, how hard is it for them not to go and watch the movie, or watch any
With the kids, we'd almost hope they'd watch it. We don't tell them to, but in terms of them understanding the clothes.
Gotcha.
Because when I explained what they had to wear,
the looks were probably
in the
amazing.
They were like, what, And then the hair, because they all we can't have any buzz cuts, even though that's what little boys do.
Yep.
And this summer I said, "Oh, we got to mess this up.
Yeah,
it's got to be long and straight. Oh, I don't care if it's in your eyes." And I'm like, "No, I'm putting lots of gel on your hair. You can leave it long, and I'm gonna gel it every night, and you're gonna go home with sticky hair and have to take a shower every day." And then the girls, I braid it really tight when they're in the orphanage, because then I have to put boy wigs on them when they become Fagan's kids, which is like 3 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
is
that just experience as your friend in those type of situations?
Well, yeah, part of that. And I mean, we try and educate them not only about theater movement and costumes and all the aspects of it. I mean, when they saw the set, these are such good kids. This set is fabulous that Kevin built. But it does look like this rickety old bridge and under the bridge and all these things. And the little boy said, that doesn't look very safe to play on. And then we had to show them the one breakaway wall so Bill can die at the end, but otherwise, now they love it. They find all the junk. They each have a different place where they sleep when they're supposed to be, sleeping. And poor Oliver has to even change clothes because he comes from the orphanage. And I'm like, you have to put on your Fagin clothes under the covers somehow.
Oh, no.
But he's so good. And they take up the whole stage. And they're not intimidated or scared
That's
at
the
all.
huge thing, because that's not really a teachable thing either.
No, the fact if they could stand up at auditions in front of 4 directors and 54 other people and sing a song at 7, that's pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, you're right about that.
But Randy has made friends. He's like everyone's grandfather.
Yeah.
If I'm the mother, he's the grandfather,
so cool.
And they just love him. And he teases them, and they plays with him. And that came out last night in dance. He's sending them off to be pickpockets, and then they play tricks on him, and he pretends to be all gruffy, but he's not. And they have wonderful camaraderie with him.
Well, and now, with that being said, are tickets already starting to sell?
The Jerseyville crowd, yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
They are doing well, but I just really started the heavy-duty promotion yesterday. RiverBender.com ran a wonderful article about the show, and now we will start, doing radio commercials and other print ads and Facebook, and I think Elizabeth's coming on board.
Click on this wallpaper on Riverbender today. If you click on it, this is your season ticket wallpaper. It'll take you right over where you need
there's the kids. I took a little rehearsal picture.
That's awesome.
So I get to see Lorian started at 10, and Quinn is almost 10. So I was sort of like, just temporarily, I thought I'd keep that
That's
picture.
cool.
His first big role, and now Lorian, of course, is one of the stars of the Riverbend.
That's just amazing. And just to really have a show like Oliver, which is a big name show. I mean, this is not a smaller.
It amazes me, though, how many people your age say they've never, ever seen it. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I kind of get that. I mean, it was a huge hit at the Muni when it was here maybe 12 years ago. It's toured the country, probably not as much because it is a huge set, and you got to have all these kids, and kids in professional theater have all these rules. You got to have 2 kids for every part, and they can only work so many hours. And,
are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's very hard.
I had no idea.
Kids, yeah.
Wow.
They have to go to school.
Oh,
even when
okay. Yeah, they do have to be kids.
Even when they're touring and things like that. And then you pray they don't get sick. Because, adults can sometimes suck it up. Little kids, when they're sick, no. So I'm just like, children, we're going to be germ-free. Let's all wash our hands and don't use each other's cups.
Well, it's amazing that not a lot of kids my age have seen that, because I've watched the movie numerous times.
Well, a couple of our board members even admitted that, and then
Wow.
they went home, and but it's so important for our younger board members. I love them, but eventually someone else has to be able to costume these shows.
Right.
Which means you have to have knowledge
Pretty vast.
of what people wore in 1848 and how they dressed, and even what the underwear hanging on the clothesline looks like, and
Well,
the
it's huge.
paintings. Yes.
Well, and is that honestly one of the hardest parts about doing these shows is really painting the picture for directors? I know that you all have done it for so long and you have so much experience, but for anyone that's newer to the scene, could that be of difficulty?
Well, I guess I look at it as a little challenging, but it's fun. Like the very first thing is in the locket and in the bedroom is a portrait of Oliver's mother, who is deceased. He's never seen her. So we had to figure out how we were going to do that, but we did. It was
No way.
so clever. See, a little AI. You can give someone long hair and change them and make them look older and beautiful. We framed that last night. And then Kevin said, now I need you to get a pallbearer, a funeral director in a top hat, because we need this picture over in the funeral parlor, because he has to stay, because they sell him to the funeral parlor.
Right.
And he has to be the child mourner for when children die, because they thought he'll look so pitiful and make everybody cry. So he goes and stands under the picture. That was a little bit more of a challenge for me to find a Victorian era picture of somebody in a stovepipe hat and get it here in time. It should be here Monday.
No way. You just keep on hitting on them, aren't you, Lee?
Well, we went to the St. Louis Rep started their big sale yesterday.
Oh, are they done?
I'm gonna write. Well, no, they're done with using the Limp Brewery for all their 3 huge 12,000 square feet.
Okay,
props and things. So Kevin and I got there. We were gonna be the first people there. Well, I didn't know there was line tickets. See, I guess I'm not.
No.
So we went to lunch, because he can't miss lunch. So we went to lunch. Got back there 10 minutes to 12. I was like, what is going on? They gave out 400 line tickets. We got 139, but they make you park like 150 yards away, half a football field, and they have these potholes, and it was raining. So we stood out in the rain the first hour, and then the Post-Dispatch had a tent, and they're like, come over here. We talked to them. I talked to a lot of theater people, but inside it was so hot. It wasn't hot outside.
It's a night. I had to. That's where I used to do my wrestling training. Brutal in the summer. Brutal.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And all we really want, I mean, because we have a lot of furniture, a lot of stuff. I mean, if I saw something, but I needed tin or wooden bowls. I need 25 of them and spoons. So I knew on the 3rd floor, I knew I could run up there. Well, maybe I could run. And see right away if I could get those. They had 1 wooden, 2 tin. They had nothing. So I found some, but I'm committed to spending locally, and I'd already been to Alton Exchange, and they're wonderful. It's just quantity sometimes.
Yeah,
that's the challenge.
Like, especially with this type of show.
Yes, and the boys, they bang the bowls and bang the spoons, and I can't just have one. There could be breakage. And then when I told them they have to eat gruel, and they're like, "What is that?" I said, "It's a lot like watery oatmeal."
Have fun.
Yeah. Well, but they started saying, "Can I have maple and brown sugar? Can I have the apple? Can I have..." I'm like, I'll mix it up different, because they have to eat it every single night, and they have to clean their bowls, and then and that's all the food they get. Now, Oliver ends up getting the dog scraps, and then they feed him. It's supposedly a chicken bone. Well, I can't give a 7-year-old a chicken bone.
No.
So I said, "Do you like chicken nuggets?" And he goes, "Oh, I love chicken nuggets." I'm like, I'm so glad.
You're getting taken care of, Oliver, courtesy
Well,
of
hopefully. I told Josh Sarva, who's in the show, and he's also stage managing, I'm like, I got to help you cook every night, because believe it or not, these kids eat. on stage, which is a whole nother thing. Like, eat it quick because you got to sing.
Yeah.
Got to move.
I haven't even thought about that part of it. You still have a mouthful and you got to get a line out. That's pretty challenging.
Well, and when I did Butterflies Are Free, there's a whole scene. I don't know if you ever saw that, but we sit at the apex of the stage right in front of the audience, and we eat an entire meal. And I'm a character like me who talks all the time, so I have to eat and talk for 7.5 minutes.
Oh, God. How'd that go?
But the local reporter, we used to review shows, and he said, she ate and talked better than, who was the character? It was Lansbury was her last name, but she played it over in St. Louis, so...
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick pause here and just take a little bit of a pause, but we're coming back. We're going to talk all things Oliver, season ticket information, and more, because it's Theater Thursday with Lee Cox and Alton Little Theater.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back. 9:49, little bit of change. We're talking all about Oliver. August the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. A lot of shows.
Well, 7 shows.
Oh, is it still 7?
For the whole season, but the second Saturday is now another matinee.
That's cool.
Which is great to bring the kids, because we have lots of ice cream.
Yeah.
And if we do sell out, then we could always add Saturday night. But we have so many groups come to our area and then eat at our restaurants, which we love, and they don't want to drive at night. They don't even want their bus driver to be driving at night. They kind of want to go home. And
I feel that. That's fair. That's fair.
So we're going to 3 matinees, and I'm trying to push that and hope. So far, season ticket holders have been very amenable to that, but I need the public in general, because second Saturday was a huge problem. If there was a concert or something else, even though I go to all the meetings at the mayor's office, I try and keep the city's calendar. We try not to compete. We want people to do everything. But that second Saturday was a hard sell.
Yeah, it was.
And then you have to worry about, like our spring show, we had to change the dates because Kevin wanted 8 weeks. And I had one of those little day timers, and I just looked, I said, oh, we'll just move it back a week. And then I was like, oh, that's Easter. No, that you can't do a show on Easter.
No.
Can't do that. So sometimes things like that dictate to us. And then you always, in January and February, where Randy Manning's directing the X's, he's like, it's not going to snow. Is it? You've read the Farmer's Almanac. I said, oh, no, it waits until February. Don't.
Yeah, just wait.
Believe me. I was like, I don't know when it's going to snow.
That's incredible.
Probably not as much as we used to have. But.
No kidding. Well, and honestly, just the last couple, the good thing is now, hopefully, all the rain and stuff we're having now gets rid of the precipitation. Because even though we're in a drought now, we had so much rain this spring. Hopefully that sets us up.
Except the Viking cruises start docking tomorrow.
No way. Oh, no.
And we provide the entertainment 12 times, and the river is rising.
Is it rising pretty quickly?
Well, I have kids in Minneapolis. Oh, the flooding and the river up there. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're like, it's coming your way, Mom. I feel like, okay. So I don't know what will happen, because the first tour is full. I mean, they have 4 huge groups of passengers who will be touring the whole area, and we greet them, and they get food and water and find out about the area. And last year, Alton was picked as their favorite stop, and we intend to do that again.
That's incredible. And it shows you, too, just how much part of the community Alton Little Theater is.
Well, I try.
But getting back to the 91st season, tickets.
Yeah.
Season tickets are $90, and this is.
They're still $85.
Oh, with the discount?
Yeah.
There you go.
You just don't get the $5 extra, but they're $85. They don't turn to 90 until September. But everyone will want to have their season ticket before then. Even though, I'll be honest, if they come to the very first show, I give them a little credit. If they come in and they buy that show and then they buy a season ticket, I let them do it.
That's fair. And, getting back to just the rehearsals and everything else, what are some of your favorite sights and sounds so far?
Well, I do love, Kevin's a really big guy with this booming voice, and I worried that he might intimidate the kids, and he doesn't. They just kind of pull on his T-shirt and ask a question, or what about, or what, and I think that's wonderful. They have so much good feelings about adults. That makes me feel good. They're not scared. Now, a few of the girls get a little tearful if they don't get something right away, but the guys are like, We'll get it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that was good.
How are the parents feeling about everything?
Well, we have open door policy, and this is the first time we have a room full of parents and grandparents.
That's awesome.
And the two moms of the two boy leads, I said, you guys are going to wear out your tear ducts. They take videos every day. They cry every night. They go, we'll just sit in the back row and cry quietly. I'm like, I'm very proud of them too, but I think they're going to have long careers in theater. You're going to have to
This ain't
pace
the
yourself.
only one,
But I love that. I do love that because you really feel that family support and grandparents, and they love looking at the set and behind the set and how the tricks work and things like that. And Kevin builds everything. He built this great coffin. Well, he's built a couple of them, but in the funeral parlor. When they put Knox in it, it goes, can I breathe in here? I'm like, yes, Knox, we would not put you somewhere that you could
Gonna
breathe.
suffocate.
And you're only in there for about 35 seconds before we rescue you. But I understand it, and he was the one who was like, this set looks kind of rickety. I'm like, it's not. So Kevin gets up there and stomps on everything and does, see, it's not going to fall down.
You will be safe.
It's supposed to look rickety.
Well, and now as we get closer and closer, what are some of the rehearsals start to look like as you start to fine-tune this?
Well, we haven't blocked everything. We're blocking again on tomorrow night, on Friday, and actually only about a third of the show is blocked. But this has 15 big production numbers. Song
Does
and
it really?
dance.
Oh,
so most of that has been
Choreographed,
gone through
yeah.
the first. I mean, you got to repeat because by the time you do here, then they can't remember what are the words. Although the kids are pretty good about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the blocking will be a little tough. Kids, when you say you don't ever turn your back to the audience, that's hard for them.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, how do I get up there if I don't turn my back? And
Right.
we have to show them how you move to get up there.
Well, and that's what I think so great about this production, because it's not only just a great show, you're actually really providing some valuable lessons too, and really putting some great tools in their back pocket to take with them and go with for the next shows and anything else they do in theater or anything else.
Well, and Reed Buffington plays Mr. Bumble. It's a great role. He's like 6'4". Huge guy, long hair. And so when he bends down and yells at Oliver, they both practiced yelling at each other before we did that scene because I thought, you're going to scare that kid to death. But he didn't. And again, like Ben and people like that, they're the kindest. Alex Trubka, they are the kindest men that I know. But in Oliver, they play rough characters. Children were treated as chattel. They weren't fed. They weren't taken care of. They were sold into labor. There was a big difference between the rich group and the poor group. There wasn't a middle class.
Right.
And so that still feels like it's going on sometimes.
Feels like it is.
And we've talked about that. No new Nikes.
No. And Lee, I'm really excited about this. And I'm excited to talk with you again next week.
Next week. We got to figure out when it is because it's July 4th.
I will be doing it live, but if you want a tape, we can.
Really?
Yeah, I'll be live.
Okay, well then I'll be here.
There we go. We'll be all Americana'd out.
Jake is having his big bash on the 3rd because that's when the fireworks
Yep.
are. So
there we go.
That's good. Okay, I'm so happy.
We're live on Thursday, 4th of July. Stay tuned.
Fireworks.
And Oliver. We'll see you after this
But
quick.
we have to wear red, white, and blue.
We do. We have to be very
patriotic.
patriotic.
Yes.
Who's going to be the most patriotic? We'll find out on next Thursday's show. We'll come back, though, with top of the hour news next.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
10:02, welcome back. Top of the hour news. Hey, make sure you stay tuned to RiverBender.com at 2 p.m. today as Brian Trust is ready to tell you you're beautiful from 2 to 3 p.m. A great show and great insights and really just a different approach to getting to know some of the individuals in our community and hearing some of their stories, and just love what Brian's doing. If you have the chance to, you're beautiful, live at 2 p.m. on Thursdays until 3 on RiverBender.com. Take you to top of the hour news now at 10:02 as we jump right into it. The big story of the day as we take you right back to the mine collapse that occurred at Gordonmore Park. This is, as the footage yesterday has just went viral. It's gone internationally on the news circuit today, and you can see here in about 2 seconds this light pole will break and give way, and causing enormous damage on the brand new turf soccer fields at Gordonmore Park. And with that being said, Alton Mayor David Goins is expected to meet with experts today. Regarding those experts, we have heard from New Frontiers Materials on an underground mine in the area, and Matt Barkat, a media relations representative for the company, issued the statement about the situation. Here's the statement. The New Frontiers underground mine in Alton today experienced a surface subsidence and opened a sinkhole at Gordon Moore City Park. The impacted area has been secured with remain off limits for the foreseeable future while inspectors and experts examine the mine and conduct repairs. The incident, which occurred in a popular recreational area, has prompted immediate action to ensure public safety. No injuries were reported, and the event has been communicated to the Mine Safety Health Administration as required by regulations. Safety is our top priority, Barkat said. We will work with the city to remediate this issue as quickly and as safely as possible to ensure minimal impact on the community. The affected section of the park remains closed while experts assess the damage. The park itself will remain closed as experts assess the damage and undertake necessary repairs. The timeline for reopening has not yet been determined. Also in the news today, Alton Mayor David Goins acknowledged the massive sinkhole at Gordon Moore Park during the city council meeting and gave an update later Wednesday evening. New Frontiers Materials operates that underground mine beneath the soccer field and released their statement shortly after the incident. Mayor Goins, however, announced that he plans to meet with the head of New Frontier Materials at the park sometime tomorrow, June the 27th. The head of the mining company is flying in from Alabama, and we're having a meeting tomorrow at the park, Goins said at the meeting. At this time, the park is closed because it's still not settled. It's not still settled. There's still some movement, so we thought it'd be in the best interest to close off all activities. He added that an independent geologist will survey the site who will provide more insight to the extent of the damages and estimate when normal activities can resume at the park. Also in the news today, one final bit of news for you. Week 4 of the Alton Muni Band season features the famous children's concert. This year's special guests will arrive at both parks with the help of We Like to Party. Visits from Princesses Tiana and Bluey will give area children the opportunity to take photos and meet their favorite characters. The band will play favorites from movies, television, and even video games. Brian Engelmeyer, drama teacher at School District of Clayton, will narrate a choose-your-own adventure song where the audience will go to vote on the outcome of the story. This year's children's concert will be new and exciting for all ages. Concerts take place at Riverview Park on Thursdays this evening at 7:30 p.m. and at Haskell Park on Sunday at 7 p.m. Let's take a look at your weather forecast. Currently right now, 79 degrees. It feels like 88. Today, mostly sunny, pleasant, and less humid. And tonight, partly cloudy. Temperatures will reach 87 degrees today and drop down to 69 overnight. As we head into Friday, and on Friday, a high of 88 degrees, a 40% chance of rain, and a low of 73 as we head into Saturday. On Saturday, a high of 90, a low of 67. And on Sunday, a high of 82 degrees, a low of 56. On Monday, the 1st of July, we're going to see 80 degrees on that high temperature, and we're going to see 64 as we head into Tuesday. You can stay up to date in real time all the time at RiverBender.com/weather or call time and temperature at 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane, your local State Farm agent. While I have you, are you looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery? A life free from addiction is possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone's a national leader in mental health and substance abuse disorder treatment for people of all ages. And with a commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives, Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, meaning the recovery care plan is developed for you and based on the latest science. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone will be that constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anybody, but so can recovery. So start working towards your recovery today by visiting Centerstone online at recoverwithus.org, recoverwithus.org, or by calling 1-877-HOPE. 123. We'll take a quick break, look at Skycam, and come back with more of our daily show right after this.
And you know it will.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Lennox.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Lennox products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Everybody got somebody to lean on. Put your body next to mine.
Welcome back. Sorry, I'm getting there. I always enjoy talking to so many great authors and great writers. And now we get the chance to talk to somebody. I just read this book yesterday, The Calling Tree, and honestly, this kind of blew me away. The way it was presented. Jeanette Schofield is going to join us now here, picture in picture, and we'll see how we're all doing today. Good morning and happy Thursday to you, Jeanette.
Good morning. Happy Thursday.
So right off the bat, fill me in. You've been writing for quite some time now, and all of a sudden the idea comes, it spawned, we're going to do this. How did all this come together with The Calling Tree?
A lot of support and I say pressure from my family, but I'm not supposed to say pressure. Uh, Poetry is something that not everybody understands or everybody enjoys, and it's something that I've used as a coping mechanism since high school, so since the 80s. And my mother-in-law, Randy, who you know, my husband, and my kids and my mom have all said, you should share this with people. And so I decided to take a leap of faith and do it.
It's just incredible. And now, when did you start the process?
Oh gosh. I think it was
Good answer.
December. I want to say it was December, and it was published actually in April.
And you know, and that's a pretty quick turnaround from start to finish to have something published and ready to go. What are your kind of just thoughts, or what are your feelings right now, knowing that after all the love that went your way to go and get this done, you got to be feeling awesome right now?
It is a great sense of relief. I will tell you that Susan at Soul Sunshine was amazing to work with. Her team is phenomenal. Her graphic artist actually did the cover. And then she and her team came up with the title because I really didn't know what to call it. And they made it a very smooth process. And I was involved all the way through the editing. I was allowed to continue to have like Randy read through it. My daughter-in-law and son read through it, so that we had, up until the very last minute, we had edits going in, and they were like, this is your book. You tell us what you want. And they did it. They made suggestions along the way when I had no idea what I was doing. So it was smooth, a very smooth process.
Well, and what I think is really unique about the way it's laid out is that it's laid out in a variety of categories to me, but they all fit in the same pattern that we could all take something from it. And then with the notes that you provide to really kind of journal the thoughts that you have when you're reading this poetry, it's really unique. And now from Christianity to education, anxiety, weight loss, and and creative writing, what was the most difficult poem to start to kind of develop?
To be honest, I don't really develop poems. Like I said, they're coping mechanisms, so they just kind of pop into my head.
Wow.
And so I know a lot of people who write novels, they might get writer's block, or they have to go back and look at, okay, where is this character going? What are they doing next? And I might be out on a bike ride. I'm a cyclist. So I might be out on a bike ride and something pops into my head, and I stop and start making notes in my phone. And by that time I get home, it's ready to be written out. Like, that's just how it works for me.
That's incredible.
There are some, there's some that are very hard for me to read without getting emotional. I recently won third place in the Southwestern Illinois College poetry contest with a poem that was very hard to read. It's called The Breakup, and it's not in the book, but it's about breaking up with anxiety. So that one's just hard to read.
Well, and that's what I find fascinating. And as somebody that goes through the mental health, cycles too, and battles the anxiety and slap on everything else that you got, to go to it. How have you been able to really branch out through your outlet of anxiety and mental health relief?
Writing helps, but I also enjoy, like I said, I am a cyclist,
Right.
so I do ride my bike. Like last Saturday, I went out and I was feeling the stress of starting a new job coming on, and I was like, I'm just gonna go out and ride 30 miles. I hadn't even gone that far yet. I hadn't gone past 15, but that's my time to reflect and relax. Then, of course, the endorphins that you get from that help you relax as well. But then I talk with family I journal every day. One thing that helps me with anxiety is a gratitude journal. So every day I reflect and I write 3 things that I'm grateful for that day.
Really cool. And now, getting to the poetry side, when you're writing them, do you is there ever a hesitancy when you're maybe feeling anxious or you're feeling those feelings when you start writing, or is it just one of those things where your body and brain know when we're on, and we're ready to help ourselves?
Both.
Wow. Okay. Really fascinating. Does it just depend?
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, there have been times where I've started writing because I was upset versus feeling anxious,
Hmm.
or I was very grateful, or uh, I woke up on Thanksgiving and the Thanksgiving poem that's in there just popped into my head. It was like, it's Thanksgiving. I'm so thankful to be alive. And it just flowed. So, and then there are other times where it's like, man, I've got to get these thoughts out of my head. And it just comes out as poetry on paper. So
That
it happens both ways.
Well, and to me, or to you, what is the most powerful piece in this? Because I know it's like picking a favorite child almost, I could imagine. But is there one that somebody that picks up the book, opens it for the first time, is there one that you think's going to draw their eye more than others?
I can't say yes to that because a couple of people who I like friends who have bought it, they've all gone to something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, like you said at the beginning, there's so many different poems in there and different types that it just depends on what they like. It might depend on how well they know me. Um, so I'm not sure.
That's a good point too. That's a pretty good point too. Well, and in regarding education, I know that there's some poems in there. How important was it to include some that involved the education and just in general with your background currently with what you do?
So I'm starting my 30th year in education. So
Wow.
education has been a huge part of my life. And I'm very passionate about helping kids become better at being who they are by the time they're an adult. So as a school counselor, it's very important for me to really show that support for education because I am a diehard educator. Like the education system
Yeah.
is so important and we need the support and we need these kids to figure out who they are before they leave high school.
Well, and to me, that's just more, it's so valuable to get those insights too, because, in life, we always have different things that we're going through, or maybe just different situations. And whether or not you're reading this poem about, test taking, well, test can mean a variety of things for different people. We all have a test to take. It's just a different form of a test. And that's what I think's so cool about those journaling options. Was that important part of your piece, was to include those lines to make sure people could reflect?
Yes, I wanted this to be a journal. I use journaling actually with students. I think it's important for them, depending on what it is that I'm working with
Uh-huh.
them for. But writing out thoughts, and it might even not even be a true journal. It might be, they are just really angry and they don't know how to talk to somebody about it. So I'll have them write everything out and then we sit there and we shred or rip apart that paper. And now they can sit and process what they actually want to say and how to say it. So I wanted the journal pages in there so that as people read through, if they have thoughts, they can journal and put them on paper. Or if there's a thought just specifically that poem hit a nerve about something, hey, write it out,
Right.
go back and reflect.
Well, and that's whenever you're reading them, do you reflect differently each time on the piece? Do your thoughts ever change on how or what you're getting out of it?
They do. Absolutely.
That's really
Yep.
fascinating, actually. And why do you think that's the case? Is it just about the way the day's going? Or is it just a part of us growing up and I don't know what you want to call it, growing up, but that's fascinating that your thoughts and kind of and your reflections change as you're reading these pieces again.
I think it just comes with our experiences and moving past where we were in that moment. Now, my Christian poems, they hit me. Some of them were written at a time where I maybe had some doubt or I wasn't as involved in the church as I had been.
Hmm.
And now I go back and I look at those and they touch my heart a little bit more than what they did then, because I think that was my way of trying to get myself back to where I had been, and now I'm back where I had been. And now I think they touch my heart a little bit different because I'm in a happier place. But I think just our experiences and how we cope with our emotions and where we are, or at least for me, help me then reflect on them differently now.
That's really interesting. And now, as you're going forward in your life, has the book helped you at all with just kind of putting yourself out there? I know that you've been pretty quiet for quite some time now, and just, what are your thoughts? Has it helped you kind of branch out a little bit?
I'm still working on that part. I need a little more help with that. I am not somebody who's always super, I don't know if you can see my face is turning redder as this goes on. I'm not one who likes to be in the spotlight. I can do public speaking on school issues, on racial issues, and I'm great with that. I can get up and produce and conduct an entire awards ceremony and be completely comfortable. But when it comes to being in the spotlight about me, not good with that. And so I'm learning. This is my second podcast, so I'm getting myself out there. And Randy, I think, is going to, he's community relations. He is going to make sure I get myself out there a little bit more as this continues.
Well, and it seems like the support system really is there for you too.
Yeah, 100%. My kids, my mother-in-law, my mom, Randy. Yeah.
Well, and now going forward, is the book available for purchase today?
It is on Amazon.
Perfect. And now going forward, any book signings coming down the pipeline? Any other events or activities?
So I'm working with a bookstore in Belleville right now.
Cool.
They are not open yet. It's a brand new store. It's called Belleville Books. I sent him information just this morning, so I'm waiting to hear back on that. And my daughter works at Coffee House in Fairview Heights, and we're looking at doing a Saturday book signing sometime in September. She's the owner, Laura. She's a doll. She wants to do like a huge event with a local artist, myself, and then a possible vintage car show all at the same time.
Oh.
So we're looking at a big event.
Well, Jeanette, I just think it's great that I'm having the chance to talk with you about this, especially now with it being, you published this book right at the time National Poetry Month started back in April. This is really cool. And now to get you on the show now has been wonderful. We'll make sure to include everything, including a link on how you can get the calling tree on a write-up on RiverBender.com. And whenever you want to come back and fill me in on the next book you're working on, or next poetry book you're working on, you come in and call me, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. At 10:25, we'll take a little bit of a break. Our daily show continues with OSF Healthcare right after this.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back, 10:30. A little bit of change on this Thursday morning. Dr. Ari Lakritz, right? Did I do it? Because remember, we talked about this last year. Lakritz? Oh, God damn. I knew it, Stacy. I knew I should have asked. Yeah. Never do it. I always should ask before I start.
At least he didn't say Lakritz.
That's true. Lakritz. We're going to restart this. Welcome back to our daily show, 10:31 on a Thursday. Dr. Ari Lakritz is in studio today. And we talked last year and had a really good conversation. And getting back to this, Tim sent me an email that said that you have Wellness Wednesdays or a speaking engagement coming up. And this is really fascinating. How's everything been so far, though? Last year I talked to you. How's everything been in the year?
It's been quite a while. I was very fresh when you first saw me. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. It's been a lovely, lovely place to work. This area, this whole Riverbend area, Alton in particular, is a very special place to work. People here really care about each other. And the institutions in this town, especially St. Anthony's where I work, they really care about the community. Every decision with treatment, with anything, is seen through the lens of, what's going to be best for the people that live right here. So a very special place to work.
It really is. And then joining Ari or Dr. Lakritz for emotional support, right? Is that okay? Or just a kind of a field trip, I think, too. We got Stacy Knox and Marie Meredith in studio. But, getting right back to our to the conversation, let's talk a little bit for the audience that maybe didn't tune in a year ago or maybe has forgotten. Take us through your day-to-day at OSF.
Oh, yeah, certainly. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist at OSF St. Anthony's in Alton. So mostly what I do is psychological assessment. I help people who, if they have a concern that they or someone they love, a child, a relative, has some sort of condition that's a little less well known than your standard mental health diagnosis, such as depression or anxiety. Something like ADHD, something like a possible autism, perhaps a learning disability, perhaps something else that again is just a little bit less well known. I work with people to try to help them understand, whether they do or do not meet these criteria.
And, following up right on top of that, what is the need currently right now? Because I know there's a ton of needs when it comes to mental health here in the region. But for you, what is the most important need right now when we talk about mental health care in the Riverbend?
It's not unique to the Riverbend, but certainly the greatest need here is access to care. There is a tremendous amount of undiagnosed mental illness in the broader population, but especially in this area. It's one of those areas that has historically been underserved when it comes to mental health treatment. And there are a lot of people that unfortunately are suffering in silence. Young people, older people, who have really been carrying the symptoms of different diagnoses but have never been given the recognition and the tools to deal with them.
Well, and on top of that too, that's a great point, is that it was underserved for so long, and now just to see the last couple of years that we're really starting to add some of these components, and with what you guys have done at OSF Healthcare has been wonderful too, and just seeing all of these different components make up this mental health awareness kind of network that we're starting to see in the area. I'm feeling positive about it,
Me as well.
Good. I like to hear that. So next month, you're going to be giving a talk at the hospital about health and social media use, which I always find very fascinating. I don't know if it's because of what I don't know. I just feel like we're all living under surveillance anymore. Everyone's taking videos on their phone. Everyone's posting stuff on social media. And, what should we know about your message in this event? What are you going to be hitting on whenever we start talking about this in a month?
Yeah, really, the title of my talk, which will be July 10th, at our...
not a month, Tim. July 10th. That's not a month.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's coming up, yeah. Yeah, the title of my talk is really going to be Social Media, the Great Balancing Act. Really what I want to do is there's really no agenda here except to help people live a healthier life.
Right.
When it comes in relation to social media. I want to make people, first of all, aware of the risks of social media, both for themselves, as generally adults, my presentation at least, but also for children. I want to talk about recent research that has come out that has even told us more about the short and long-term effects of high social media use on people and their mental health. And then I hopefully want to give people food for thought, best practices about how to make social media work for them. To control it, to use it to their advantage rather than their disadvantage.
Is social media I don't know what else to compare it to. Is it a drug?
It's certainly addictive in certain ways. I mean, the definition of social media is any form of website or other medium where the content is primarily user-generated. So you think something like Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, that the content is not coming from any particular corporation. It's coming from different users of this platform. And, there are certain aspects of it that are unlike any other human experience up until now.
Right.
Humans, we were not designed to deal with this level of social stimulation. We were designed for a few social contacts, a few family members, maybe a large group of friends, but we were not designed to be exposed to hundreds, maybe even thousands of competing opinions, of competing pictures of people showing off different aspects of their lifestyle, of competing judgments about our behavior and the behavior of others. It is an absolute overload of the brain. So in that sense, it really can be quite damaging.
Well, and on top of that too, how is it for individuals that are watching things on social media, whether it's a TikTok or a photo of me on a private jet that I didn't pay for and don't own, do people start creating false narratives of how they should live their life because of social media? Do you see lifestyle changes because of their overactive use on different platforms?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One way this really came out was with young people, especially young women. It came out for many years since the advent of Facebook and then the popularization of Instagram when it was acquired by Facebook, that young women were absolutely engaging in unhealthy dieting and exercise and other practices in order to lose weight, in order to look at least more conventionally attractive. And the very disturbing part of this was that these companies did their own internal research, and they knew about many of these negative outcomes, but they chose not to publish them. And this was, this famously in 2021, there was a certain whistleblower from Facebook that testified before Congress. But very disturbing that, even just really very shortly after these platforms became popular, you already started seeing these negative effects on people's perception of themselves and behavior very strongly.
Well, and now when we're talking about mental health and social media use, to me it can be a variety of different factors. It could be something that maybe a situation we created ourselves by a post or a picture you shared or whatever, or it could be maybe something you're feeling from an external user that you see that kind of hits you. What are your thoughts on that?
I think so. I mean, there's research that the overwhelming majority of things, pictures, content posted by users on these different social media platforms is positive, at least subjectively positive.
Right.
The latest vacation,
right.
Great. No one, as they say, no one posts a picture of their messy kitchen, right?
Right. Yeah. That's true. That's very true.
Doesn't happen. Yeah. So absolutely. So you can imagine again. It used to be that perhaps you'd go over to your friend's house And you would feel a little bit bad when you saw their kitchen was a lot cleaner than yours, or their house was a lot nicer than yours, or their kids were a little better behaved than yours, or whatnot. But you'd go back to your home, and you would either say, okay, I just got some nice ideas, or maybe a little inspiration how to do a little better in my own life. And overall, people were designed to deal with that. But to be subjected day after day, at all hours of the day, at all days of the week, in all sorts of life situations, to this overwhelming just torrent of supposed positivity and supposed success of other people, again, absolutely overwhelming and really quite depressing as well.
It is. And, whenever we're talking about, social media and the relationship with it, when can that start turning unhealthy? Is there some signs that maybe our listeners right now at home can maybe pick up on and kind of take in their back pocket?
Yeah, there are some definite rules to lay down, and part of this will be featured in my talk, but really just to give you kind of the preview.
Yeah.
Social media by young children is always unhealthy. And
Really?
I know that's an extreme statement, but yeah, I'd say social media by children under the age of at least 13.
That was going to be my follow-up.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely.
Is inherently unhealthy. Is inherently unhealthy, and even the companies themselves recognize this, at least pro forma, right? They make that you have to put in your age. It's very easy to get around, but at least officially, you should not be able to sign up for these platforms before age 13. And social media that is excessive. And by excessive, I mean that it is coming to dominate your personal activities. It starts to edge out other in-person, healthier activities. It starts to interfere with your relationships or your other things that you're involved in a negative way. Then it is very much cross-line into unhealthy. But interestingly, I mean that line is getting closer and closer every day. I mean, even just a little bit of use of social media per week, per month, whatever it is associated with negative outcomes, and the negative outcomes just grow and grow the more the quantity of social media use.
Well, and the more you watch, do people start to, I'm just kind of just grabbing thoughts here that are coming to my mind, but do people start to manifest maybe some of those messages that are coming through on social media, not really advertent, like not making, not doing it on purpose and manifesting and taking all those messages or taking the atmosphere or the tone of these posts, these videos, but can they manifest those negative vibes, those negative attributes, and does that play into to the role?
I think so. I think so. Yeah, obviously there's like the famous ones like every couple of months there's some sort of TikTok trend that's extremely dangerous.
Right.
Tide Pods, things like that, But more insidious, I think, is that there is a great deal of content on social media platforms. TikTok is a real bad offender with this, which does a great deal to influence young people to feel like a lot of their struggles when it comes to perhaps social anxiety or other issues in their life are indicative of some sort of very serious mental illness or developmental issue, such as autism or ADHD, which I'll tell you a lot of times is not the case.
Yeah.
A lot of times, the vast majority of people do not have autism, do not have ADHD, but it does become a certain identity for these young people.
Yeah.
And they begin to filter all the, what used to be called just normal kind of growing pains of growing up. They begin to filter all these through the idea that I have something irreparable, that I have something that qualitatively makes me different from the typical person.
And that's another point I was going to ask you about too, is we see so many people that post about some of the conditions that they have or some of the things that they're dealing with, some of the recoveries. And I'm not saying that they're lying or misleading anybody, but I think it's becoming a point where we're starting to diagnose ourselves through social media videos going, oh my God, that's been happening to me for 3 months. That's totally what I got.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any of those type of correlations?
A tremendous amount of that.
Seriously?
Tremendous amount of self-diagnosis. And it really does seem correlated with the level of social media exposure that the young person has.
Wow. Well, how do we avoid some of these pitfalls in all seriousness? I mean, because the simple thing, it's just like if you want to quit smoking, we'll stop smoking. If you want to quit social media or turn it off, turn your phone screen off. But how do we start to avoid those pitfalls, especially, for maybe parents too? Because how do you really monitor your phone, your child's screen without putting the screen blocker on and becoming that parent before you have to be that parent, if that makes sense?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so I'm not the expert in this, but I will refer you to the expert.
Okay.
I'll refer you to the great social psychologist Jonathan Haidt. He has a new book. It came out just a few months ago. It's called The Anxious Generation. I actually have it here in studio.
Yeah.
And it is a wonderful book. And in that book, he lays out very clearly 4 sort of reforms that either as a society or even the individual needs to take to get control of social media particularly and technology in general. And these 4 reforms are no smartphones before high school, no social media before age 16, phone-free schools, so no phone use at all in schools, check your phone at the door, and then more generally, more unsupervised play and childhood independence, more in-person activities, more social activities that do not involve a screen, more exploration of some of the more kind of traditional activities such as sports or perhaps artistic pursuits. These 4 reforms, he believes, could really get this under control.
That's really fascinating, and honestly, I'm kind of interested about that book. I'll have to look into that. Can someone who's not a doctor read it?
Yeah. I think everyone could get something.
Okay, good.
He's all over. Ironically, social media, but he's all over YouTube, and he's on several podcasts, so that's a little more digestible. But he's a good person to listen to.
Well, and that's just with what you were just talking about, being outside and getting out and being using those human activities, or what I call them, just kind of doing what we used to do for generations. For some people in this community that are older, maybe they're mid-20s or late 30s, they're mid-40s, you name it, they don't know where to start. Have you heard that conversation yet of why I want to go out and do these things, but man, I just don't know what to do about it? How do I put myself out there? What are your thoughts when you hear something like that?
Yeah, that is a big challenge because, like you said, some of this stuff, it's almost like a muscle.
Right.
If you let it atrophy, it's going to be much harder to start again.
Right.
I would encourage people in that position to take a little bit of time, and this will be difficult to start, but just disconnect yourself from whatever piece of technology or social media that you find yourself heavily using. This includes things like video games, of course, but specifically your smartphone, specifically your social media profiles, specifically video games as well if you're perhaps younger. And during that time, let's say those 1, 2, 3 days, try to self-monitor, see what sort of things interest you, see where your attention starts getting drawn to, see you'll probably be observing your surroundings a little bit more, look around and see are people doing things that you're interested in? Is something immediately kind of catch your attention and pique your interest? And that is a very good place to start.
Really fascinating. And now, are there any benefits of spending time on social media?
Slight benefits.
Okay.
If used correctly, yeah. Social media, it's a very nice tool for connecting with other people who are experiencing the same things as yourself, going through the same things as yourself. There's wonderful support groups on social media for people with mental illness. There are wonderful support groups for people, let's say, caretakers of those with illnesses or things like that. So used correctly, it is a wonderful tool. It should be used in real moderation. And this is, I think, what is a little misleading about some of these studies that do point to quote-unquote mental health benefits from social media, is that these studies are generally looking at a very sort of cherry-picked good use of social media for this kind of thing. They're not looking at this, how it's actually used in practice, which is much all hours of the day and for all sorts of things. Not like that.
100%. And now with the developments of AI and everything, now you got to vet and verify pictures are not pictures anymore that are authentic pictures are created and make us believe that something happens. You even have videos being created that show people in various states of nudity or provocativity.
Certainly.
But now what are some of those concerns when we start to talk about artificial intelligence in social media? How is it affecting the older population? And if you could touch on it, maybe for kids too.
It seems like it's just going to exacerbate problems that are already there, as in if we are already kind of outsourcing a great deal of our brain power and our social skills to things like these social media platforms, then AI, which has tremendous potential to literally create things and almost impersonate the human experience, I think it's just going to exacerbate this. I was recently at a conference, actually in the country of Israel, and there was a very interesting presentation there about these 3 kind of tech entrepreneurs, and all 3 were showcasing an AI either companion or replacement for psychotherapy. So your robot therapist, your AI therapist is probably coming at some point or another.
What are your thoughts?
I don't really know what to make of it.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to see where it goes. They were saying, they claim that it's really just to be used as an adjunctive for, let's say, when you're not available, for when you're not in office hours.
Yeah.
They seem to have really good feedback from younger people that they actually like speaking with an AI that's kind of programmed to kind of talk them down or calm them down or make them feel a little better and things like that. But it's troubling. It's a troubling trend. If we really are outsourcing even something like our psychotherapy to AI, where does this end exactly? I would imagine that you probably are going to have to put in safeguards, much like Dr. Haidt is talking about with social media, really restricting the age that this is used, really restricting the where this is used, how this is used.
And going into your engagement, your speech coming up on July the 10th, is the public invited to this? Is this just for medical experts? Fill me in.
The public is invited, but you will have to just call an RSVP.
And do we know the RSVP number?
We do. Yeah, we just call our hospital at 618-474-6240.
20 minutes in and out. How about that? We got it done. And honestly, this is a conversation that could be a 2-hour show in itself, because there's so many questions and people have so many concerns and thoughts, and it's one that I highly encourage you have the chance July the 10th to bookmark that, call the hospital and register, and you'll be able to really gain some valuable insights. Now, in the speech, before I let you go, is there going to be a Q&A portion, or is it just going to be a speech?
I certainly hope so.
Okay.
I certainly hope so.
Really cool.
Yeah, I really like. I like people to some of the most interesting parts of the presentation are often people's experiences, and they're on the ground, and I'm up in the office. So I'm always interested in hearing how this plays out in the real world.
Really cool. Meredith, you have fun? Or Marie Meredith, did you have fun?
I did, thank you.
Stacy, always good to see you.
Yes, you too. Yes, thank you for having us.
Always great talking about this really important topic with you, because honestly, if we don't talk about it more and more, then, I just feel like we're going to start losing the battle even more so than we already are, it seems like.
Don't be afraid to talk about it, certainly.
Absolutely. At 10:50, we'll take a quick pause. We'll come back. Daily Show hits you on a Thursday morning right after this on RiverBender.com.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know I laughed.
Just wanted to update you real quick. Welcome back to our daily show as we're wrapping up this Thursday morning. And Jane Excavating, contractors for Ameren, will have Baza Street between Pearl and Washington closed to through traffic starting today, Thursday through Friday, July 6th for gas line work. The roadway will be open nightly. Closures only during the daytime, excluding weekends, so you don't have to worry about that on the weekends. Through traffic is encouraged to avoid this area and use an alternate route. Motorists should expect delays and just be mindful when approaching and traveling through that work zone, but wanted to keep you updated that until July 6th, weekdays, Baza Street in the intersection of Pearl will be closed for gas line repairs. Oh, let's see here. One final thing for you before I say goodbye, and that's out of Godfrey. Lewis and Clark Community College's Monticello Sculpture Gardens are bursting with colorful blooms and whimsical gardens for this year's summer curated garden show. Cultivate your dreams. Gardens as well as education are pivotal in our communities, and Lewis and Clark embraces both, says horticulturist and garden designer Katie Piper. The show-stopping Godfrey campus is home to historic architecture that serves as a backdrop to those acres of manicured landscape featuring sculptures from world-renowned artists. To some, a dream garden may be a wildflower field or a prairie, she said. The containers in the grove, surrounded by patio seating, host many small pollinator wildflower gardens. Each container is packed with annuals that are attractive to pollinators and look like a flower field with plants all heights and colors intertwining to give them the impression that nature, not human hands, planted them. As visitors enjoy the patio, they'll witness many butterflies, insects, and hummingbirds stopping at the blooms, becoming part of the display. The Lewis and Clark Welding Technology Department created garden orbs that add a surreal feel to the dreamlike garden outside the Hathaway Cultural Center's main entrance. At Discovery Garden in the Bosque outside the Hathaway and is a space for interaction and education. The plants contained within its walls are edible, medicinal, heavily scented, or pigmented. The space will also be used to educate groups on herb drying, botanical dyes, and the benefits of vegetable gardens. Parts of the gardens are tended by the College for Life gardening class for the Lewis and Clark Garden Club. Now, this is always a favorite, the Living Wall, and it's the perfect spot to check out numerous begonia varieties and get some group photos or even some selfies. There is also a large tropical plant display in the Rivers of Color garden, and it reaches higher to the sky as the summer goes on. The Monticello Sculpture Gardens is now offering a College for Kids Creative Gardener Camp during the last weeks of June and July for all young budding gardeners. June's camp is underway, but registration is still open for July's camp, which will feature activities and art created in the gardens while campers learn about plants and nature. You can sign up by using the hyperlink on RiverBender.com. These and many of the other gardens are looking to be explored at Lewis and Clark. The gardens are available for self-guided tours at any time. Maps are free and will be located at the Campus Security Building at the Godfrey campus's north entrance. Free group tours are available by request Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. Contact Horticulture Manager Ethan Brash at ebrash@lc.edu, or you can email Katie at kaepiper@lc.edu to schedule. We're out of time, but I'll see you live tomorrow for more of our daily show. So on that note, just enjoy the day, go out and have some fun, but most importantly, as always, just try your best to stay out of jail.
To the